Welcome to Baker Makes It. My name is Zach Baker, and in this video we're going to be looking at the design process of our 1970s Holiday Rambler travel trailer behind me. This has been a really long process. It's been about 5 years to get this to a point where we're actually ready to build the inside out, and so I've got a quick recap here to show you all what we've been working on this project. From stripping the paint off to lifting the body, building a new frame, doing all kinds of work on the outside from ceiling to paint to just a lot of the details like new lights and things like that. This has been a huge project. If that's something you're into, definitely check out my earlier videos of this project. There's some really cool ones of how this process has come together. Now we're at a point where we're trying to get this thing together by July 4th. It's not going to be done, but it's going to be usable. That's going to be our shakedown run to see what works, what doesn't, and what we need to fix. So in this video, we're going to show the process of how I designed the inside and what the finished product is going to look like. This has been something I've kind of tweaked 4 or 5 times as I've worked on this project, and my tastes have changed, and I've had other ideas, and I think I finally have a final design. So the way I captured this was to use a program called Canvas. It's a LiDAR scanning app on your phone. It only works on iPhones that have a LiDAR scanner, but you can go around, scan the space, and you pay their fee to convert it to a SketchUp file. So I did that after I gutted this thing so I can start playing around with how I wanted to do this. And that was pretty necessary because I wanted to make sure that the toilet was in the right place, the drains, the tanks, the electrical, the plumbing, all those things were at least close as I was starting to put it together. But now we're at a point where we have a pretty finalized design, and I've double checked a lot of this and measured it, and it's looking pretty good. So let me just show you what we have here. So what you're looking at here is the result of the 3D scan. And you know, obviously there's some color added here, which will make sense in a minute. Don't mind the outside, I only focus on the inside, but you can see the general shape here. We've got the wheel wells, we've got the opening for the hot water heater. This was the old furnace opening, and we've got all of our windows, bunk windows, all that. So pretty good representation, and it's within an inch or two of reality. And so this was just a way to start kind of putting some thoughts on paper, so to speak. So the first thing that I did as I looked at this was I decided where the bathroom was going to be. I didn't love the idea of the bathroom having a window into it as it was originally, so I decided I'd rather have that in the hallway and then have the bathroom with no window. So the first step was the bathroom walls. And this is the general gist of how this is going to go. It kind of notches over the wheel well here. In the real design, this is going to be a little further back. It's actually going to be over the edge of the window, and there'll have to be a little nook in there, a little notch to make it so the window's not covered. But that's kind of the gist. And so one of the things I had to figure out pretty early on was where is the toilet going, which is right here, and where's the shower going, which is right here. And so I have this little bump out here to cover the wheel well that's behind it, and it'll also allow plumbing and electrical to pass behind it and be able to be serviced down the road. And then we also decided to do a bathroom vanity right here, which will cover that wheel well, kind of make that look on purpose. And it's a little snug, but honestly, it's not bad. This is about a 2-foot door, and so there's at least 2 feet kind of through this whole area, diagonally, but fairly spacious here. We'll get into the cabinet stuff a little bit more, but you can kind of see the gist. We're going to do a little vessel sink on top, a little mirror, and then this will allow for probably some hooks or something over here for hanging things like brooms, mops, stuff like that. So the next thing from there was we knew that we wanted to do one large bed in the back. So we just figured out that we can fit a California king back here, which is a little narrower than a regular king, but it's a little taller. And so with the dimensions of a California king, we end up with something like this. It's not quite long enough to cover the whole width of the camper, so there'll be like a little headboard here, which will have USB chargers and some switches on the side, things like that. And underneath here will be all the electrical and plumbing and all that. Still kind of dialing in the exact height of all this, but the goal here is basically the entire back area is a bed. We have dogs and plan to camp with them, so having the space to do that is critical. All right, so then we're starting to kind of see how this is coming together here. Now the next thing I knew had to happen was the kitchen area, which is going to be over here. So let me turn on our kitchen cabinets, and that's kind of where that's going to go. Put the countertop on. Now this is a full depth cabinet the way this is drawn. This is like a 24-inch cabinet. We are probably going to shrink that a bit. This is passable, but it's a little tight. So I think we may shrink this 4 or 5 inches just to make that a little more passable, but that's kind of the gist of how that's going to go. And so this cabinet here has a hot water heater. That's that rectangle in there. And then it's also going to have a little two burner stovetop there, propane. And so all the propane needs for this are in one place, because those are the only 2 devices that will use propane on this whole project. So it'll come up through the floor in one area, and it'll go to both of those. The other half of that cabinet will be the sink and the drain plumbing and all that. So that cabinet will have doors, and then the plan is to have drawers on the second cabinet for things like utensils, bowls, cookware, things like that. So that kind of got that figured out. And then we have this little awkward spot right here. So I decided that the way we were going to handle that was to build a bench. This bench will allow for plumbing and electrical to pass through. Again, it'll provide some storage. We may put like our fuse panels, breakers, things like that in here. Haven't fully decided on that, but it'll also provide some storage. So just a nice little area to get ready in the morning. If someone's in the bathroom, there's still a little spot to put your shoes on, get dressed, things like that. We'll probably put some sort of curtain across here just as an optional thing, so if we are getting dressed, we can close that area off. And then across from that, you can see the refrigerator and microwave. We're probably going to put a gold wrap on those. Haven't fully decided, but some sort of wrap on that. But this will have our 110-volt AC fridge and microwave with electrical behind it. And then on the side here will be some sort of TV. Forgot to mention we're also going to do a TV back here on this wall. That will be just so we can watch TV when we're laying in bed. And we're probably going to build a luggage rack, a folding luggage rack here to put our suitcases and things on. May do one on this side too, just so we have a little more of a spot to put things when we're traveling. This camper's not meant for full-time living, so there are not cabinets and things like that that are going to, run forever here. All right, and then finally the front of this is our dinette area, and so we'll throw that in. And then we've got our table as well. So this is a full XL bed. It'll have to get trimmed a little bit where it's shorter to clear the door, but diesel heaters underneath this bench. This will drop down, provide a pretty decent sized bed that an adult or a couple kids could sleep on no problem. So we take all that and add some decorations, and this is what we're left with. It's a nod to the dark wood that was in this thing originally on the walls with the flooring. We're going to have matching countertops, we're going to have a little cabinet on the wall, some fun wallpaper to kind of show the kitchen area as a separate thing, and then same in the bathroom. We're going to mirror that wallpaper probably do some sort of rattan inlaid door here, a barn door, and that's it. So pretty exciting. And then I took these renderings and I put them into a software called Enscape, which is a rendering software. And what that does is it makes it look lifelike. So here's what we're looking at. This is the camper rendered. This space here with these hooks and things, this is probably going to end up having a cabinet in it, honestly. But for now, we just put that in there. I also used this software to see what the camper would look like at night. That's what this one is. And so we've got the under cabinet lighting, the recessed lighting that's in already, wall sconce. You can see in the mirror here there's a light above the dinette table. And then I also just did kind of a dim, moody version without the recessed lights on, just to kind of show what it would look like with just some basic lights. So I'm really happy with this. Pretty cool. I think it's just got a neat nod to the 70s, but it's still modern and it's still fresh. And so that's the plan. We're gonna kind of adjust this as we go. You know, like these kitchen cabinets are gonna have to be custom made. I'm gonna have to try to figure that out, or these doors rather. There's gonna be some significant challenges here, but I'm excited about the design, and I think I'm gonna print this out and stick it in the camper so we can have some inspiration going forward. So now that you've seen what this is going to look like behind me here, we just have the toilet and the shower sitting where they're going, but it's time to start putting this together. In the next video, we're going to be building walls, and we're going to be starting to build cabinets and just really starting to pull this together. And then from there, it's going to be all the little stuff that actually makes this thing work. If you're not following along yet, please do follow Baker Makes It. Really appreciate you watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one.